Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today, yes, we are back with a brand new video. And as you could probably tell by the Nasher, the posture and the overall atmosphere 15 seconds in to today's video, it is a video that's going to be filled with relief because that game right there was stressful. It is a relief to finally get those 3 points because the large majority of that game, especially right up to a sprinkling of Americano Express into our morning, it didn't look as if we would be getting those 3 points. So aye, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't a rambunctious, revenge-ridden, point-proven Rangers side that we were hoping to see after what happened midweek. But it's a job done, a tick in the column, a win picked up, 3 points down the road, and it's one we'll never speak of again after we did today's video, but it's a 3 points we'll probably remember. And it's going to be a weird one to actually break down, so hopefully you strap yourselves in because I do have a couple thoughts regarding the manager, the tactics, the setup, the whole shebang, people. So let's go ahead and discuss Rangers 2, Motherwell 1 then again, where we picked up the full points at Fir Park, where again it didn't look likely for the first 50 minutes of this game, because when I say turgent, people, I mean turgent. It was rough to watch, and I'll be honest with you, when I first seen the starting 11 I was very, very surprised and shocked because I thought there would be some changes regarding the starting 11 because of what happened midweek, but there was only a couple people, and one of the changes that was made was Fashion Sakala drop. Now, whether you like a Fashion Sakala, you rate a Fashion Sakala, whatever you think of Mr. Fashion Sakala, I want you to put that to one side for a brief second because just look at it on paper, right? Sakala got a goal, an assist, and a man of the match in his last game versus St Mirren, and he certainly wasn't the worst player versus Liverpool midweek where he actually created several opportunities. Now we've dropped him out the squad and brought in someone else and everything like that, and it's strange to me, and I think it's just a kind of perfect example of what is kind of annoying about this football club right now. We are constantly, and I mean constantly, making baffling decisions at every single level at this football club, that even our best in terms of consistency right now player gets bombed out the squad for players who's not kicked the ball in a couple months. It's just weird, isn't it? But again, I know not everybody likes the Callum what he brings to the table, but I just wanted to use that as an example. Goal, assist, man of the match, bombed out. Boys that's not kicked the ball in 3 months, play every week. It's strange right now, and I think that frustration kind of was reflected on the actual part because that first 45 minutes was as rough as you're ever going to see. And that's despite what happened twice in the opening 10 minutes. I mean, we had 2 golden opportunities to score in the opening 10 minutes, yet that 45 was still one of the worst 45s I've ever seen. People, I don't know how you felt with that first half. Hopefully you let me know down in the comment section below. But it started positively enough. Good ball out to Ryan Kent. He combines very well with Tillman. I think there's a slight ricochet, if I'm remembering right, from the defender, but it falls to Kent. He's got the opportunity to pop with his left, but he cuts in, takes another touch, and when it's just doing that, he does eventually get his shot off and it's easily saved by Kelly's. I think there's a slight deflection on the actual effort, but I just think there, if that's a boy that's brimming with confidence and feeling good about himself, I think he hits it there, but he takes another touch, cuts inside, then another touch, and has a shot, and it wasn't just Kent, and I know there's a lot of people getting off the Kent bandwagon and everything like that right now, but it wasn't the only one that's playing like that. We had one in the 86th minute, we'll talk about the longer the video goes on, but that's just where we are right now, and that kind of summarised what happened again just a couple of minutes later with a beautiful ball by Big Ben Davies out. That's what starts the attack off. It eventually gets played down the left-hand side. Kent waits for Barisic, who steamrolls down that left, puts in a decent ball into the box, but it falls to Tillman 7-8 yards out, but the big Americano Express canny get it on target as he balloons it over the bar, and you're thinking to yourself, that there was Sayer. But at least we were going forward and creating opportunities, you know what I mean? If only we knew at that point where we were frustrated we didn't score twice, what we were then going to have to witness over the next 35 minutes of play, which was just turgent. It was horrible, it was slow, it was passive, it was war-bitten, beat plan A style-esque. It was the worst of Steven Gerrard, and it's the worst of Giovanni Van Bronckhorst when there's no drive, when there's no aggression, when there's no pressure that you need to perform, or you're getting absolutely punted out the starting 11. You can have performances like this and it breeds people and it spreads, and you can see it right now. It's in 6, 7, 8 of these Rangers players. There's no 1 or 2 anymore. It's in these players that just didn't have it right now and should maybe get a wee timely reminder, a wee kick up the Jacksy to get back firing, but there's never any of that because they're there every week and it's just ponderous, it's slow, and I can't even tell you, I can't talk to you about another chance apart from a Tillman shot where he should have done better a couple minutes after his first one. For a good 30-minute period period of that first half, we created zilch versus a Motherwell side who has again very, very poor at home. Only 2 goals scored, one of them being an own goal. Having the worst shots, having the worst hangings on target. Literally the worst team in the league at home. We created nothing else in 30 minutes. And I think the worst thing you could say is it was progressively getting worse. It started with spikes and then it just started going like this. And then this, then this. And you're just staring at it saying, what is happening? And you're thinking to yourself, right, we're getting a half time. That's as worse as... Giovanni's got 45 minutes to save his job. Honestly, if that had style like that, I'd have been having a completely different conversation, even though I do feel there needs to be some sort of change in there, people, because this isn't good enough for where we want to play. There's too many players off the boil. There's too many players not performing. Whose fault is that? The manager's job to motivate them. If you can't motivate them, you move them out of the squad and you play somebody else. Somebody might say, oh, well, you've got 9 players who injured, and I understand that, and I give a lot of sympathy for that, but you've also got Kamal Roof telling everybody under the sun that he's fully fit and able to play, but he's sitting in the house watching games, ladies and gentlemen. So again, it's one of these situations. There's some questionable decisions getting made regarding personnel, and I really feel now, especially looking at the oppositions and everything and watching how teams are setting up against us, this horseshoe that we do where we get the ball in the middle, we go here, if there's nothing on here, we come back to here, if we go there, we go to the left, if there's nothing there, we go back to here, if there's nothing here, we go back to there, if there's nothing there, we go back to here. That's genuinely, that sounds mad. Right now, I know I sound absolutely bonkers, ladies and gentlemen, but do you know what's even more bonkers is, that's what we're doing on the park. I'm just describing to you what we're actually doing. That's all we do. The horseshoe and the opposition are well and truly scouted on that because we got near nobody in the first half, and it was just so poor the way we approached it. I mean, genuinely looked out of ideas. So I'm gone into half time, I'm thinking, right, he needs to change, son. He's got 45 minutes to save his job right now. He's clearly going to have to make some changes, but he never made any changes at all. There was no personnel change. There was no return for like a Fashion Sakala, who must be getting punished for getting a goal and assist and being the man of the match. Again, he doesn't fit the Giovanni mould of possession, side to side. He's get forward, go forward, go, get forward, go. And there's clearly, it's a combination of ideas, or a sort of a blockage of ideas where the manager wants something, Sakala's no giving it, but what the fans want, Sakala's giving it. So there's frustration absolutely everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, we know what happened in the second half, right? I don't want this all to be doom and gloom, but I need to tell you my honest opinion. I can't sit here and cheerlead and go, yes, people, yes, do this and dance and everything. Well, I will dance in a second when I talk about the goal, but I can't dance about that performance because that would just be lying to you. And I might make mistakes, I might do the wrong things, but I never sit here and lie to anyone who takes time out their day to watch me in the video. So aye, very, very disappointed with that, and there is issues that need to be solved, but again, we have no plan B, but we do have good players, and that's something I sit here and say every preview, and I take my licks online and I get pounded and slaughtered and laughed at and mocked and treated like dirt 90% of the time, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm here all the time talking about these players, and I back these players, and I back this football club because there is good players in here. They might not be performing, they might be getting told to do something and strictly told to do and ripped away any creativity for them, but there is good players here, and Malik Tillman showed that in the 50th minute, where we finally had someone that just said, no, I'm no going out wide again, no, I'm no going back again, I'm no gonna play it safe, I'm gonna take a risk. And honestly, he sat there, he picked the ball off the halfway line, he won the ball first, gave it to Tav, Tav passed it back, he's in his own half, he picked that ball up, lifted his head up and said, hold on now, I played for Bayern Munich, and he just took off and went forward, and you could see everyone else saying, the boy's breaking his line. It was like a moment, people, like The Great Escape, when everyone's just staring at the guy in the motorbike, they're all staring at him like, what's he doing? Is he gone for it? Yes, Tillman went for it as I moved the chair, as he just gallops like Seabiscuit. There's one, there's two, there's 75 people on him at one point, and he takes every single one of them on, and after he cuts inside, they're pulling at his jersey, he steps up, he looks at the goalkeeper, and he knocks it into the back of net. It's a truly wonderful individual goal that we badly needed, and that is a 20-year-old kid grabbing the game by the scruff of the net and saying, you know what, I'll probably get subbed and bombed out the squad now for the next 4 weeks, but I'm a good player, I know what's needed here, let me just go and do it. And it will be one of these goals that we always remember, people, because again, he beat 84 players with a football. I've never seen anything like it. It is Messi-esque the way he drove with that football, and his positivity and his drive, and that's why you play him. Central, he's no winger, ladies and gentlemen, he's not quick or anything like that, but you can see what he can do. He's very good with dribbling, and he's a composed player. Some people call him slow on the ball, but that's because he's thinking. People, if you just want people to do fast and rash things, play Arfield every position if you want. If you want composed players that's going to bring attack, you have to give them time on the ball. You need to let them slow things do. It can't be frantic, or we'll just have what we had before. So absolutely love that. And again, he bet 93 players with a football, and I couldn't be prouder of the young man as again he grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck and he set us on our way to what would be 3 points, and we badly needed it, as badly as we needed the second goal. And that second goal came, people, when I was in still a weird fever dream that Tillman did beat 104 players with a football, as we end up playing some more good stuff. Tillmans sort of clinking in, passing the ball, flipping it forward. It ends up being a corner kick, and Barisic steps up and whips in a good set piece. Again, it's low to the front post, but it's obviously one that's been worked on because Lundstram is there, and I'm pretty sure it hits either Lundstram's side his head or his shoulder. Whatever it hits, it's Lunny's goal, and Lunny Mania is running wild. People, you're thinking to yourself, right, that was one of the longest 45 minutes of my life, and now in the space of 10 minutes in this second half, we have killed this game stone dead, ripped the game away from Motherwell, picked up the 3 points. Let's see the game out now, keep a clean sheet and head back down the road. Very happy. But this is Rangers Football Club this season, and you know it's never ever that easy, people, because as you're still adjusting mentally to the fact that not only Tillman bet 112 players with a football, we've actually scored a corner kick here, and you're thinking, we've scored a set piece. That's like seeing a unicorn on a pogo stick, people. It doesn't make any sense, and your shoulders are just starting to bop, and then they get a set piece and we concede yet another. And honestly, I think I'm up to 117 players now when I think back to that Tillman goal, but that's about as many goals we've conceded for set pieces this season. And this year, I don't know, maybe I'm getting Crabbit. Am I getting old and Crabbit? Probably am, people, but do you know what I mean? It's a set piece that Tavernier doesn't get a shout because he flicks by one, but there's someone right behind him. No one shouts man on or anything. Basic stuff you think you communicate with the captain especially, but Disney ends up giving a free kick away, but it's almost like a corner kick. We concede from a set piece, woohoo! But anyway, it gets whipped in, and it beats McGregor. McGregor comes out off his line. McGregor comes off his line by an inch, man, honestly, God, but I can't even... It's weird. You know what I mean? It doesn't even feel real. I feel like I'm in like a cartoon sketch or something right now, and I continually get punished and I'm getting put in the same labyrinth over and over again, having to describe these set pieces, because I've talked about every single way you can concede a set piece. Now our goalkeeper's been chipped for a corner into the back of net. If that's not the serious one, I don't know what is, people, but aye. In one end, you can say it's a good free kick, but is he meaning it? No, he's clearly trying to cross it, so he's mishit it. And then the goalie's been beat because he thinks he takes one step to come out and it goes right Erie's head. It's poor, I think, for Alan McGregor in that as well. But again, that could be me just being Crabbit and everything like that. But I genuinely think over McGregor's last two performances, he used whatever power he had left in his body. He used it at Anfield. And now giving Robbie McCrory that contract extension, would it be the worst thing in the world if we're backing him for the next 5 years to maybe sprinkle in a little bit of game time? I don't know, maybe I'll annoy everybody in the comment section below, but I feel like we're already annoyed anyway, so I'll just tell you what I think. It's a poor goal to lose, not only the way we gave the free kick away, but the way we conceded the free kick. And then from that 5-minute period when we were 2-0 up and cruising, to now it's nippy bum time scenarios, 2-1 at Fir Park, and we looked absolutely all over the place, apart from one man at the back line. And I want to talk about this man very briefly. I know nobody wants to talk about the game and everyone wants to forget it, but Ben Davies, for me, showed everything why we brought in the money and spent the money on him, I should say, because he was so calm on that ball and so important in this game that's going to go completely under everyone's radar. But he is one of the main reasons we won that game. Even we King, I thought we had a good game, but he started giving rash decisions away, free kicks away, picked up a yellow card. Davies never gave one foul away the whole game. And a perfect wee thing, it's just a wee daft thing, but I want to mention it very briefly. In the first half, he's running, and one of the Motherwell players, I think it's Tierney, that's running in behind. Davies could take him out and pick up a yellow card, but what he does with his body is he just positions himself to the right hand side, forcing the Motherwell player to cut in on his weak foot, and then leaves him because he's driving him right to two Rangers players. But on the flip side of that, you see someone comfortable and in control of the situation. Arfield runs in from behind and just nails the boy and gives away a dangerous free kick. That's rashness versus calmness, and that happened a lot of the game. Davies, for me, showed his composure as a defender, and it's a real shame that Golton's picked up such a serious injury, because that, to me, is a very, very impressive partnership that we saw, but something we could build an entire team around. So aye, big performance from Davies. We know he's not at 100% right now, but he dug in, looked brilliant, and for me, apart from obviously Tillman scoring the wonder goal and everything like that, if you're asking me to pick a man of the match in that game, it's well and truly Ben Davies, and that's who I wanted to talk about. If I'm talking about the Tillman goal and I'm singing the praises of the Lundstram goal and everything like that, I need to sit here and talk about Davies' performance, because he was the best player on the park for me. And the longer the game went on, I thought Tillman started to get a lot more confidence, and I'm proud of the wee lad as well, because he burst on, then he started getting flung and facilitated on the right wing to make room for other players who was inferior in his position, like an Arfield, like a Kamara in that 10 role. He got flung on the right hand side at Anfield, which was mental in itself, and he looked like he had lost that spark and belief that you have as a 20-year-old pulling on a shirt like Rangers. But I thought after the goal, you know what we thought, well, like when Kent scored the other week, we thought that would just take all the pressure off Kent and Kent would be back to who I am. Well, I actually saw it in Tillman for the rest of the game. Again, it was only a short period of time, like 25 minutes, but he looked a lot different and a lot more comfortable on the ball and in possession and getting stuck in defensive, chasing people down after the goal, because I just think that took the weight off him and just reminded him he is still an incredibly talented 20-year-old footballer. So aye, ladies and gentlemen, that's my thoughts and opinions. It was a bad game, very, very poor game to watch, but there was a couple individual moments of brilliance and a couple individual performances that was enough to elevate a poor game into a winnable game, and that is what we get. But there's something needs to be tweaked, because for me that wasn't a performance that calms me down and thinks, right, we're on our way and never flat now again. That's a kick in the can type doing. And I know these games happen in a season, you need to win ugly games, but we've already won a couple of games this season. I want to see a run of very good games that we actually win. So aye, ladies and gentlemen, that's my thoughts and opinions overall in the game. We need to fix whatever the issue is, and we need a plan B. We need something else, because the horseshoe isn't working, and Gio's blushes were covered today through individual magic from Tillman. But that's what I'm going to say about the thoughts and opinions on the game. What about you? Let me know your true opinions down there. Again, if you completely disagree with me and you want to call me an idiot, do it in the comment section. Well, enough people do it, if I'm honest with you, and everything like that. But aye, that's all I've got to say. What about you? Let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, let me know you're a man of the match as well. That will be interesting to see, because normally I'm sitting here singing Control X praises, but that boy was absolutely starving for service. I think he got one cross in the entire game and probably should have done better, but that's the standard that we hold him up to. But he was even ready. This is a boy that's just in the door. Again, I'm rambling on and everything again. But briefly, just a couple seconds, Mary, your time. There was a point in the 37th minute where he's going like this and screaming. And this is a boy that's just in the door. There's established players that's been here for years who's supposed to come with this club's all about sitting there with their heads down, letting the game drag down. Cholak's screaming at people to put pressure and come forward and get closer to him. And I like that for the laddie. I want to see it more for the established players, right enough. But aye, that's all I wanted to say about that. It was a poor overall game, but the 3 points is there, so we'll take it, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, as always, I've been CJ92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.